Blade and Soul gets beach ready with its latest update, RuneScape launches its new expansion known as the Arc, Revelation Online reveals its 6 playable classes, Crossout decides to drop one of its most annoying features, and Bethesda's new shooter might just be the best competitor to Overwatch.
Party.
What's happening, guys? James Blonde here with MMOHuts.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements of the week ending July 25th, 2016, and it's the 300th recap. So I just wanted to quickly say thank you guys so much for tuning in every week to catch up on the latest MMO news. You guys rock! Starting out the news this week, though, is a new video from Black Desert. Almost as a follow-up to last week's class announcements, this one showcases the Siege and Node Warfare that released in the game, along with an extensive guide they're calling Warfare for Dummies. And according to this guide, when it comes to building node forts, there are 2 main parts to remember, the day system and the node level system. The day system is a set schedule that is designed to help your guild and its members coordinate around the days that they're able to participate. So for each server channel and node war area, there are different nodes available each day of the week. On top of that, the nodes available during the days of the week are classified between level 1 to level 3, so you can consider a suitable node level to possibly generate the proper guild income based on your guild size. This is just the first part of the very elaborate guide they put together, and from this, it seems like they've got it down nicely. Check out the side post for more details on how to get started and how not to be a warfare dummy, I suppose. As another reminder, Neverwinter launched on the PlayStation 4 this past week, and we've got a very detailed review article for you guys to check out. But beyond that, more details came in about the PC version of Neverwinter and its latest expansion and release, Storm King's Thunder. This is the 10th official expansion for the game, and it ushers the age of frost giants into the land of Neverwinter with a new and exciting in-game campaign, new dungeon tier, and unique story based on the upcoming adventure from Wizards of the Coast. But in addition to the new frost giants taking over the land of Neverwinter, the expansion marks the debut of the new Tier 3 dungeon, Fangbreaker Island. Of course, this comes with new high-level gear that you'd probably like to have to face the dungeon with in the first place, but you know how it goes. Read up on more story stuff from the site post at MMOHuts.com, otherwise the new expansion breaks ground on August 16th. Next up, Skyforge released the Battle of Equals this past week, which is a new competitive 3v3 tournament based on skill alone. So for this tournament, players will join the Battle of Equals as a hero that only has the current talents, skills, and weapon properties of their character. So players will be on equal footing for the tournament, and transportation, divine form, and symbols from each atlas cannot be used. So it's cool that they've got this set up like this, but it would also be really nice if they just made all the PvP in the game like this. I don't know, just a thought. Also arriving with this update is the new area known as the Antean Wasteland, which is considerably different from all of the other PvE locations that you're used to in Skyforge. The Antean Wasteland has not been gripped by the fire of war. Invading ships do not drop from the sky, and even the great gods do not pay any significant attention to these parts, and that's exactly what makes them so dangerous. This new area can be visited by almost any players, requiring 21,000 prestige, but the difficulty level and the rewards will always be appropriate for your character. Also last week, as you might have noticed from my Hot Summer Games video, which you can check out right here if you haven't already, Blade and Soul introduced new beachwear, some really silly dance moves that only seem to work with silly music behind it, along with a new update called Shadows of the Innocents. The new update continues the storyline, taking players into Acts 5 and 6, where evil still continues to corrupt the world, chronicling the rise of the Ebon Drake cult in the wake of the Dark Lord's failed evasion. It also brings in 3 new heroic dungeons, including Gloomdross Incursion and Twisted Grimhorn Wilds, a 24-player instance dungeon that should pose as a challenge for most. The new update is out now, but look forward to plenty more updates just around the corner. And another game mentioned in my Hot Summer Games video was HeroWarz, who is currently celebrating its launch with the new hero Jerry and the opening of the game's cash shop. Jerry is a high school baseball prodigy, perfect for players looking for an oddball melee fighter with intense power. Not only that, but you can expect lots of wild customization options later on as you get into her more advanced skill tree. But speaking of customization, the Venus Cash Shop has also arrived in the game, bringing with it a new wave of weird and wacky cosmetic items like, jellyfish cosplay costumes, which really still seems to fit into HeroWarz for reasons. Yeah, so there's absolutely no doubt it's a weird game, but it's fun to say the least. And according to Dizzy VW, the launch version of the game has a ton more polish to top it off. Next up, Riders of Icarus talks about its first post-launch content update known as Blight of Frost Keep. This new update will increase the current level cap to 35 and reveal the new snow-covered lands of Parna's Coast, which is full of new quests, challenges, and familiars to tame. You'll be able to join up in groups to try out the field raid, defeating various powerful monsters that are level 34 and definitely ready to fight you. Riders also near the new level cap will find that the Frost Keep is a difficult challenge to face, but inside this barren and lifeless keep, you can find new ghostly familiars to add to your collection. Expect to see the Blight of the Frost Keep live in Riders of Icarus this week on July 27th. Speaking of expansions, Jagex, who was recently purchased by Chinese investors, showcased its new expansion for RuneScape in a trailer this past week. The new update is called the Ark, and it's arriving today, in fact, July 25th, with a new economy, uncharted isles, and plenty more stuff that was ultimately suggested by the community. According to the official post on RuneScape's site, the first 3 islands of the new Ark area are now here for you to explore, featuring a host of different action-packed activities, whatever that might be. You arrive first at the trade hub of Waiko to take on mini-quests and continue the slaver storyline, or carry out tasks to earn the unique currency called chimes, which can be spent on the resources necessary to start the second part of the Eastern's Land's release, exploring the Uncharted Isles. Secondly, you travel to Whalesmaw, the perfect spot to train your fishing and hunter skills, and then there's Amanishi, a slayer-focused island. Additional islands will be added in future content releases, but for now there's plenty to explore. Plus, once you've earned enough chimes to buy supplies, you can then explore the Uncharted Isles, a procedurally generated region where every voyage brings up more unique islands with random resources. When you find an island you like, you can actually place a flag on it to save it as your own permanent private resort. It's pretty cool, and like I said, this huge new update has gone live today, so hit up the site post for more details. More news came in for Revelation Online this past week, a new video revealing the game's 6 classes. Here we have the Gunslinger, the Vanguard, the Sword Mage, Spirit Shaper, Occultist, and the Blade Master. Now the 2 that stand out most for me are the Occultist and the Sword Mage. The Occultist delivers a wide variety of dark offensive spells, from damage over time to AoE attacks to those that deal damage while siphoning enemies' health. But at the same time, they can do a little bit of ally healing as well. So that sort of seems like my kind of class, especially for healing. The Sword Mage is a glass cannon focused on powerful magic damage, specializing in AoE skills. They invest all of their energy in sharpened elemental magic, so they're a little bit of a target when it comes to focused attacks. The new trailer doesn't really show much of the individual classes, but it does give a little bit of gameplay preview on each. Check it out at the site post at MMOHuts.com. Next up, League of Legends first teased and then completely revealed its next champion, Kled, last week. Kled is known as the Cantankerous Cavalier, who marks the long-awaited end to the drought of Noxian champions, bringing the essence of fight-or-flight gameplay into his kit. He's got an interesting passive, that's for sure. Skarl, the cowardly lizard, Kled's semi-trusty mount, has his own health bar that players have to balance out during gameplay. It takes damage in Kled's place when the 2 are riding together. Any bonus health Kled picks up through items, runes, and masteries also applies to Skarl, but when Skarl's life bar is whittled down to 0, he runs for the hills, leaving Kled to fight alone. When fighting solo, Kled's abilities change, and he actually gains movement speed while heading toward enemy champions. Kled can actually restore Skarl's courage and bring the Craven Critter back by attacking towers, champions, or epic monsters, and that's just his passive. The rest of his kit is just as cool, and let me just give you a taste of that with the name here. Bear Trap on a Rope. Doesn't that sound fun? Check out his full kit breakdown at the site post. In other news, Gameforge announced the start of Dropzone's closed beta, the new MOBA/RTS hybrid from Sparky Pants Studios. I'd say more RTS than MOBA, to be honest. We got a chance to check out the game firsthand at E3, and unique is a word you could use to describe it. It's about as unique as Air Mech when it comes to hybrid games. So it's a 1v1 fast-paced sci-fi RTS with MOBA elements that allows you to control 3 hero-type units at one time to fight alien creatures to collect these cores that you upload in order to outscore your opponent. Kinda neat. Tons of variety when it comes to strategy and customization. I'll get you guys a first look real soon so you can actually see for yourself. Otherwise, keep an eye out for beta keys given out during live streams, or sign up for a chance to claim one on their website. Well, it looks like they might have finally listened. Crossout made some major changes to its parts system in their recent update. Now, originally, the vehicle parts were meant to be destructible and tradable, and there has been a durability system in the game. And if you remember from my first look, that was the game's worst feature, in my opinion. It was absolutely annoying. Now, after analyzing data and feedback, the development team has decided to make vehicle parts permanent. Thank you. The durability system will completely disappear from the game, along with the spares and the need for repairs, which is also great. So yeah, they just took out the crappy part of the game and left the rest. According to the post, this update is experimental and will probably require several iterations to balance out the obtaining of new parts, avoid overstocking the marketplace, and, make sure that the parts are still valuable trophies to players. Either way, I'm happy they made the change. Now I'd really suggest trying out this game if you get the chance. It's a better time than ever. Next up, the online squad-based first-person shooter Ghost in the Shell standalone complex First Assault Online, also known as First Assault, so you don't have to say that ridiculously long name every single time, is nearing the end of its paid early access phase and will enter a free-to-play open beta this coming Thursday, July 28th. As of recently, Neopol and Nexon decided to extend their latest free weekend test, so technically you can already download the client after making an account and play for free. But for open beta, they plan to add a new operative to their current roster of 8 operatives, introduce a new game mode that's inspired by the classic Ghost in the Shell standalone complex series that brings in a new hacking element to the game, new systems and optimizations based on the feedback from early access. Hop in game now to check it all out, and stay tuned to MMOHuts.com for more details on the new update coming with open beta. And finally, for a last bit of news, the new Quake game from id Software and Bethesda, Quake Champions, offered up some insights into the champions that were currently revealed. Now, this game may or may not be a free-to-play title. We saw it at E3. It hasn't really been confirmed, but most information sort of points towards the free-to-play business model, but then again, it could pull that Lawbreakers type move and go buy-to-play. Who knows? Guess we'll have to see. As you can tell, the visuals look pretty fantastic, and it's the champions that make it different from past Quake games. So, it's a little less Unreal Tournament, more Overwatch style with champions that have unique abilities and functionality. Be sure to check out the new Developer Insights video to kind of get a feel for the current champions and what they're like. It could be the real Overwatch competitor, especially if it ends up free to play. Let me know what your thoughts are on that in the comments below. Anyway, guys, that's about it for all the major MMO news and announcements for this week. Like always, if you're looking for more information regarding the news featured in the recap, check the links in the description below. Otherwise, hang out at MMOHuts.com for all the latest in gaming news. Feel free to discuss the news in the comments below and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.